Hello again, Amanda here, homeschool hack, emergency homeschool hack. In this video, I just want to talk about identifying the opportunities that might be present for you in your unique situation and your family in this season of potentially a couple of months of having your children learning at home. So everyone will have at least one opportunity in this season, and I find that if you can focus on that, if you can keep in mind what is an opportunity that you don't normally have, you're more likely to seize it and take hold of it. So here's a couple of examples of some things that could be an opportunity for you. So the first one is that now you have more time, more freedom to help nurture some of your children's individual passions and interests and things like their creativity. At school, they have to follow the national curriculum. You've got 20, 30 children in a classroom. The teachers have to try and teach to all abilities and cover the curriculum. That's not a criticism, it's just a fact. When you have your child at home for the next few months, you've got an opportunity to actually help nurture something that your child is specifically and uniquely interested in, or something that they're gifted in. Maybe it's some art or music. Maybe they might actually really want to start learning a language. What is something that you don't normally have the time to do, your child doesn't normally have the capacity to develop in? This is your moment. So grab it with both hands. And you may think, well, I don't know if there's resources out there to help me. There probably will be something that you can find, even online, to help your child learn a skill that maybe they uniquely want to learn. You know, my nephew has just taught himself to crochet using YouTube, and now he's really excited about crocheting. My daughter's just learning to do some whittling with her penknife. And so there's all sorts of things that your children might be passionate about or interested in. This is an opportunity to develop that. Second opportunity that might be relevant to some of you is to actually help your children make some progress in a specific area of their learning that you feel they may be struggling in. Even if you're not a teacher, certainly at the primary age level, you probably have got some knowledge and skills to help your child make some progress. And even if you don't feel that you do, there is so many resources out there to help you now that didn't exist even 5 years ago. So maybe your child is struggling with maths or with writing. You could just pick one of those areas and say, you know, I'm going to really coach my child one-on-one and help accelerate their progress so that when they go back into school, they're kind of broken through to a new level. That may be an opportunity that's relevant to some of you. Another one is that you actually have an opportunity to really learn more about your children's learning style, to learn more about their natural bent toward different subjects. I always appreciated the teachers at my children's old school because they were really good at communicating with me about my children, but it wasn't until I actually was sitting there learning alongside them that I really discovered how different they were and what their innate strengths are in terms of learning. And so that's valuable knowledge for parents to have. Even when your children go back into school, that will be a benefit to you. So maybe that's an opportunity. Another one is just you've got some chance to have some quality time. You can have unhurried mornings. I don't know about you guys, but for me, getting up in the morning, getting 4 kids out the door with packed lunches ready for school was always a bit stressful. Breakfast is a more pleasant experience for us. So maybe that's an opportunity for you. Maybe you yourself have some talents and skills that you can actually have time now in this window to teach your children. Maybe you're an amazing baker or you're awesome at knitting or something. Well, why don't you take the opportunity as you're stuck inside to teach your children the skills that you as their parent have? If you're working from home, you can actually could you involve your child in what you're doing with your work? Could you teach them about what you do for work and some of the skills that you use as part of that? Is that we hopefully have time to read aloud to our children. Reading aloud to your kids is one of the most valuable things that you can do for them, not just for their academic development, but It's just so precious to sit with your children and read a book and all enjoy the story, enjoy the characters, to talk about it together. It's just a different experience to sitting and watching a movie. But also as a parent, you can expose your children to literature and writing, which is beyond their capability for them to read independently. And by doing that, if you read a book that's a bit above their level of what they might normally be able to read on their own, you're going to expose them to a wider vocabulary, to more developed language, more complex language, just new ideas. I'm going to do a whole video on some books that I found really helpful, the sorts of books I read to my children. And also, it's simply reading to your children and then getting them to tell back in their own words what you've read, what they've heard, getting them to go through that process of narrating back, even just verbally. That is a hugely powerful learning tool. So reading is an opportunity for all of us. So those are just some things which may be an opportunity for you. If you live out in the countryside or you've got a bit of land, you can teach them to do some gardening. You can get them doing chores around the house that normally they wouldn't have time for. You know, what child has time to vacuum when they've got to go to school? But now, maybe you could teach them how to help you around the house. So there will be an opportunity for you in this season. Identify what it is, and if you've got multiple children, think through each of them as an individual. What is the opportunity for them? And take it with both hands. So that's my next top hack for you, parents, as you head into this season of educating your children at home. All the best!